All right, everyone. Welcome to the 187 District Court. Happy Monday. Let's keep it a happy Monday. Let's not try to turn it into a regular, I would say, not so happy Monday. Everyone have some patience in your pocket. These are the rules of the 187 District Court. You are in a courtroom. Anything that you could not do if you were physically present in the courtroom, you cannot do on this Zoom screen. If you do not behave appropriately on the Zoom screen, you will be required to appear in the 187 District Court in person. That will mean that whether you're out of county, out of state, you will have to appear in the 187 District Court. That's going to require you to either catch an Uber or a Lyft or get the Via bus. If you get the Via bus, what's going to end up happening is you're going to have to find change. If you're coming downtown and you're driving, you're going to find a lot of one-ways. You're going to find a lot of constructions. And if you're able to find parking, you're going to find that parking is very expensive. To all the inmates, you are not allowed to use the chat box, period. No chat box. You are not allowed to use the internet. You are not allowed to use Facebook. If you do any of these things, you will be sent back to your cell. And as you know, there's a shortage there. So we will see you sometime in 30 to 60 days if you do that. I'm going to open up the breakout rooms. When I open up the breakout rooms, it will invite everyone to go to a breakout room. Do not, I repeat, do not go to a breakout room unless your name is specifically called. To all defendants or those who are accused, your attorney's name will be called, your name will not be called. If you do not hear your attorney's name, it is because your attorney is Zooming in another courtroom. Just one moment. To all attorneys, if you have an agreement with the state, no matter how small that agreement is, you need to put it in the chat box to the court coordinator. She's listed as Ferguson coordinator. Do not email her, chat her, call her, and request a reset. I'm the only person that can give you a reset. To all the inmates, do not tell the deputy that you are excused until I excuse you. If you tell the deputy that your case is over when it's not over, again, we will see you in 30 to 60 days. All right, Natasha Torres, who is your client?
Good morning, Your Honor. Mr. Carlos Javier Martinez, he's logging in. We have the incorrect Zoom information.
And you're waiting for Elena Altus?
Yes, I anticipate, and I was about to put it in the chat, that we have an agreement. I did send her an email previously so that we can work on that, and we will need the assistance of an interpreter.
All right, and everyone, please make use of your chat box. So Ms. Ferguson, on Carlos Javier Martinez, they're gonna need an interpreter. Do you need an interpreter to go over paperwork?
No.
All right, so just let us know when you'll need the interpreter.
Thank you.
And is your client in custody or on bond?
On bond. He should be logging in momentarily.
All right, as soon as he logs in, your assigned breakout room will be breakout room number 3. And as soon as he logs in, just let me know in the chat box and I'll send him to that room as well.
Thank you.
Charles Gold, who do you have?
Good morning, Judge. I have Parker Pimental. And this is where there's an MTR, but he has long COVID.
All right, is this criminal trial division or family violence?
CTD with Tom. Like I said,
right.
it's already all done. He just needs to turn himself in, but we're waiting for him to have a negative COVID. He's got long COVID. I sent the last result to Norma this morning.
All right, as soon as I get that result, we'll give you a new date.
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Ferguson, if you can send that to me in the chat, in the email, please. Matthew Allen, you're waiting for Daryl Harris?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I'm going to assign you to breakout room number 4. As soon
Thank
as Daryl Harris makes an appearance, if you'll go to number 4, please. And could someone let Mr. Harris know to zoom in, please? Matthew Allen. All right. Todd Lesser.
I'm here. Wanted to speak with the state, CTD. It's an MTR.
What is your client's name?
Jose Gomez.
I'll send you to breakout room number 5.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Areli Bustamante.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning.
Good
I have
morning.
Fabian Rocha for modification of bond conditions.
All right. Have you conferred with the state over modification of bond conditions?
No, Your Honor, we would like to if possible. It's family violence.
Okay, thank you. Mhm. Okay. All right, I'll send you to breakout room number 6.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Any other attorney? Who's in the
Was that a
courtroom?
question? Good morning, Your Honor.
Yes, who do you have, Mr. Marshall?
Mr. Hernandez is an MTR.
What is the first name?
Give me just a moment, Judge. I want to say, I apologize. I've had so many today. That's weird. Give me just a second. Yeah, Michael Hernandez. I want to say Mark, but I knew that wasn't correct. Michael
Criminal
Hernandez.
Trial Division of Family Violence.
This is a CTD, I believe.
I'm seeing you to number 7.
Thank you.
Mhm. Rolanda Arguelles.
Good morning, Judge. I'm present in the courtroom with my client.
All right, who's your client?
Jose de Leon.
And your client needs a Spanish speaker?
Possibly, Judge. If I can just have a moment to be excused to go over the plea paperwork with him.
Yes.
Okay, we'll be right back, Judge.
All right, thank you. All right, any other attorneys? All right, Ashley Hendricks, where are you? You need to unmute.
I'm here.
All right, we're
Yes.
here for you on the compliance hearing.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I believe there's an issue. Just one moment. With funds.
Yes, ma'am.
So how are we going to solve this problem? Because you're going to have to get 2 jobs or something because there's a balance that's due.
Yes, ma'am. I'm currently working on that now. I'm trying to pay as much as I can. When I can, as far as still being able to catch my bills also.
Well, I mean, some bills, and here's the thing, I'm not trying to be mean, but you're on deferred adjudication, I believe, for a robbery.
Yes, ma'am.
So here's the thing. These bills that you owe because of this robbery are going to have to be paid. So the luxury items, and I know sometimes people don't consider it a luxury, but luxury items are cell phone. It's a luxury item, cable. That's a luxury item. Going to the movies or whatever on the weekend, that's a luxury item. So do you have direct TV or cable?
No, ma'am. I actually don't have cable. I've made a lot of sacrifices as far as things like that. I don't go out. I don't eat out.
Well, I mean, it's not really a sacrifice. It's like you're paying your debt.
Yes, ma'am.
The sacrifice was the people who were robbed. And I'm just speaking truth to you. So you've got to pay what you owe because you committed a robbery. And I'm looking here, and actually it was an aggravated robbery. And I see where it was pled down to a robbery. And this is from 2013. We're now in 2020, and you still haven't paid what you should pay.
Yes, ma'am.
So you're going to get extended.
Okay.
I mean, if you would pay everything, you wouldn't need to be extended. You would have been done. But because you haven't paid what you owe, you're going to get extended. And they want to extend you for 2 years. So they're extending you for 2 years, and you need to start paying.
Okay.
So I'm going to send you to a breakout room with probation. Probation is going to extend you, and they are going to work with you on a budget. And they're going to tell you how much you need to pay each month in order to pay this off, what you owe. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so I'm going to send you to breakout room number 2, and probation will meet you there to go over your new conditions. Is there anything else you need?
No, ma'am.
All right, we'll send you to breakout room number 2.
Okay.
Yes. James DeWiggins, who do you have?
Ramon Longoria.
Do you need to speak with your client?
No, Judge, isn't he's supposed to be in the middle of mental health evaluation? or competency.
All right, we will see where we are on that. Just give me a moment. Linda Corley,
Yes, Judge, sorry I'm late. I had the link from a different date. I have Irene Gonzalez and we were a PSI this morning. And I think you had wanted to talk with me about it.
I did.
Well, Norma sent me a text, excuse me, Friday after we talked about the other client, but I was gone, and so I didn't get it till later. So she said you could just do it today.
Okay, is your client criminal trial division or family violence?
Criminal trial division, Judge.
All right, do you have a copy of the PSI?
I do not yet.
All right, I'm gonna send you to breakout room number 2. The CLO is in there and she'll forward you a copy of the PSI.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
Judge,
Yes.
can I see you real quick in a room? I think it's probably important.
All right, just one moment. I'll see you in breakout room number 1.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Gold. Charles Gold. It's gonna be a Monday, people.
Hey, Judge, did you say Gold?
Yes, I did.
I thought I heard I was over there. Did LSU, how did they do this weekend? Did they play?
What are you trying to start?
Nothing, Judge. I'm just kind
Yes, you are.
Just
Who
looks
is your
like
team, by the way?
I don't have a team. I'm a lone wolf, Judge. I just fly to the radar. That's all I do.
No, I mean, you're trying to fly above the radar right now, bringing up LSU. LSU lost.
It just seems I kind of guessed that, Judge. I didn't know that for a fact, but I kind
Oh,
of
you knew.
I was kind of guessing that this morning.
Okay. All right, Norma, can I get a 30-day reset in the chat box, please, for Mr. Pimentel?
Yes, ma'am.
Maybe we should have you hang around.
What you need, Judge? I'm here for you. There were some good games this weekend.
Yes, that's true. Well, if only we had better coaching. We shall see. All right, we're going to come back on November 15th.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you and your client are excused.
Thank you, Judge. Have a great rest of the day.
Thank you, you too.
Bye-bye.
Arielle, Ms. Bustamante, on your client, Fabia Rocha, is there an agreement or no?
No, Your Honor, we're still waiting for you to rule on the conflict of interest before the state and I confer any further.
Oh, no, everything is on the record. Let me, we'll go back on the record. All right, the court is calling 2019 CR 13340, State of Texas versus Fabian Rocha. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Michelle Hayden for the state.
For the defense?
Arely Bustamante.
All right, and are you Fabian Rocha?
Yes, Your Honor.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objection from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Any objection from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Rocha, do you have any objections to us proceeding by video?
No, Your Honor.
All right. We had a hearing because it was brought to the court's attention that Ms. Bustamante was listed as a complainant in a case where you're listed as a defendant. The court heard argument from both sides. Ms. Bustamante, do you still wish to continue your representation of Mr. Rocha?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Rocha, you've had a chance to confer with your attorney, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And throughout the hearing, you are able to confer with your attorney, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you wish to continue with Ms. Bustamante as your attorney?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, there has been no motion that has been filed asking for Ms. Bustamante to be withdrawn as Mr. Rocha's attorney. Ms. Bustamante did file a motion requesting that she be allowed to withdraw from the case. However, Ms. Bustamante then filed a motion to withdraw her motion to withdraw. And that motion filed requesting the motion to withdraw her motion will be granted. And Ms. Bustamante, you're continuing with your representation of Mr. Rocha. Is there anything else with regards to that hearing from either side?
No, Your Honor.
All right, then have you conferred with the state on your motion for modification of bond conditions, Ms. Bustamante?
No, not yet, Your Honor. They just wanted to make sure that you were okay with any kind of conflict that may have arose.
No, I mean, it's really a matter of you and your client being okay with conflicts. So I'm going to send you back. If you go back to breakout room number 6, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Sorry, Judge, my mic didn't work for whatever reason, but I have my headphones in now, so I apologize for that. I was talking and nobody could hear me.
No problem. Linda Corley, you're back.
Yes, Your Honor, and I'm just waiting for the documents to be sent to me, but I did sort of get the mystery of me coming back to Zoom on Friday. Can we go into a breakout room?
Sure, just give me one moment, everyone.
Sure.
And Ms. Corley already sent the documents to you.
Oh, thank you. You're so fast. They just haven't come through my email yet. Thank you.
We'll be here. I'll be here until 6, and if not, you call us at 7.
I never got an invite to a room, just in case I was supposed to have it already.
I don't think she sent it yet.
All right, Eric DeWalt, who do you have? And is it criminal trial division or family violence?
Your Honor, I apologize. I'm on 3 Zooms at one time. It is Ms Garcia. It is a PTD. I want to see if she's been accepted yet.
All right, I'll send you to the breakout room with Ms. Ferguson and she'll give you a date and let you know if there's anything else that needs to be done. I'm going to send you to breakout room number 1. Ms. Ferguson, if you can go to 1, please.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, and then Ms. Corley, you needed to see me in a breakout room?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, if you'll go back to breakout room number 2 and could attorney from Criminal Trial Division go to breakout room number 2, please.
Judge, I would be happy to go to 2 if you could put me in 2.
Oh, thank you. All right, Ms. Bustamante, is there an agreement or no?
We weren't put in a breakout room.
No, I told you to go back to the breakout room you previously were in, which was, all right, I'm going to move you from 6 because that's the breakout room I sent you to previously.
Okay.
Just go back to your original breakout room.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. And Mr. DeWiggins, just give me a moment on your client.
Yes, ma'am.
And then are we ready on Irene Gonzalez, both parties?
Judge, if I could have just a moment to review the documents. I just got them.
All right, do you need to review them with your client?
Yes, I will.
All right, I'll send you both to breakout room number 8.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, any other attorney whose name has not been called?
Your Honor,
Yes.
I stepped in a little later. Sorry, I had the wrong Zoom link. I'm here for Carlos Varias. He's in jail. And I just need to finish negotiating the last bit with the prosecutors.
What's the last name, please?
Farias.
Criminal Trial Division or Family Violence?
Trial Division.
All right, I'll send you to breakout room number 9.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Judge, I
All
just-
right, Jose Zamora, where are you?
Right here, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, Mr. Zamora, you're here on a compliance hearing.
Yes, Your Honor.
And just give me one moment. All right, there's a request that's being made to remove your GPS.
Yes, Your Honor.
And do you know why you were placed on GPS to begin with?
At the time of the hearing, Your Honor, you placed me in the 3-month GPS.
Okay. All right, just one moment. Let me pull your file. All right, is there a prosecutor available?
I can check to see. I know he was.
No, not for
sorry.
you, Mr.
Oh, I'm
Zamora.
sorry.
I'm
Is,
available, Your Honor.
All right, just one moment. All right, Ms. Hayden, if I could see you in breakout room number 2. Mr. Zamora, is your attorney there with you? It appears you-
I can check if he's in here. I know he was running a few minutes late, if you don't mind me.
All right, thank you. Yes, please. Todd Lesser, you're back.
I was just still waiting on Mr. Gomez, I believe, in my breakout room. Just wanted to make sure he was on his way.
Okay, and what is your breakout room number?
Number 5, Your Honor.
And is your client in custody?
He is, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Gomez, if you could go to breakout room number 5, please. And are we ready on Rocha?
Yes,
Your
Your
Honor.
Honor.
Is there an agreement or no?
No, Judge.
No.
Okay,
Excuse me, Judge.
just one moment. Mr. Mr. Dwiggins.
Yes,
We're going
ma'am.
to give you a reset. Norma, can you find out the update on the evaluation for Mr. Longoria, please?
Yes.
All right.
Did something
And
happen
Mr.
again?
Aguayas, I'm sorry, what, Mr.
Did something
Dwiggins?
happen again?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay.
Mr. Aguayas?
Yes, Judge. Just to let the court know that the plea paperwork was signed and filled.
All right, then I'm gonna put you in a breakout room. So that I'm gonna send you the courtroom, if you can go to breakout room number 1. And Ms. Ferguson, if you could see about obtaining a Spanish interpreter.
Judge, we won't be needing a Spanish interpreter. He understands English.
Okay, all right, then as soon as the paperwork comes to me, I will take care of that. I'm gonna send the clerks to number 1. They will swear your client in if he hasn't already been sworn in.
Yes, Judge.
All right, Mr. Chumley, what is your client's name, and is it criminal trial division or family violence?
It's Jurado, Jurado, and it's trial division.
All right, I'm gonna send you to breakout room number 10.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Mr. Zamora, is your attorney there or no?
No, Your Honor, he's not in yet. They're trying to locate him. So
Oh, no
maybe-
problem. Just give me, we're here from 9 to 5, so there's no problem.
Okay,
Just be patient, okay?
sure. Thank you.
Mr. Rocha?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, we're back on the record in 2019 CR 13340, State of Texas versus Fabian Rocha. We are here. Defense has filed a motion to modify bond conditions. And you're asking that his conditions be modified from partial GPS to GPS tracking only. Is that correct, defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, state, have you had a chance to review defense's motion?
Yes, Judge, and to confer with defense.
All right, are both parties ready to proceed? State?
Yes, Judge.
Defense?
Yes.
And my understanding states you are not in agreement with the defense's motion?
That is correct, Your Honor.
All right, defense, it's your motion. You may begin.
Okay, Mr. Rocha is the primary employee as well as the owner of his own company. He owns America's Biohazard Solutions, LLC. The main aspect of his company is suicide and homicide cleanup. Those homicides and suicides occur without any kind of predictability and often occur during unusual hours, nighttime hours, things like that. He's unable to currently attend all of the calls that he receives for his employment. The main, when I negotiated with the state the first time was GPS for his employment. Mr. Rocha has attempted to continue his employment as usual with the GPS. However, he currently has a 6 to 6, and as I stated, the suicides and homicides come unpredictable, and he's emergency response. So he's unable to let his GPS officer know with enough time that he has a job to go to, again, because it's unpredictable. So we're asking for GPS tracking only. I understand concerns from the state. I think the biggest concern is always with family violence is the family. His children currently live in Waco. He does business primarily in San Antonio at the moment. He has not seen his children in many months. However, he does communicate with them often, as well as provide for them financially. So we're just asking for GPS tracking only in order for Mr. Rocha to truly be able to work.
All right, state.
Your Honor, based on the allegations that are currently in the motion to revoke probation or enter an adjudication of guilt, there are several allegations of drug use, and so that is one thing that we would be concerned about. Second of all, the new number 1 that is not currently on the motion but will be amended to include today involves a firearm, and therefore, and a family violence allegation. So for those reasons, we're not comfortable with him running around willy-nilly, and nobody kind of knows where he's at unless we go back and check in retrospect. So at this time, Your Honor, we think that he is able to still work gainfully, but during the middle of the night, just running around, we're just not comfortable with that, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Bustamante, is there any reason why your client cannot call or send an email to pretrial services when he has to go on a job?
He can, however, Miss Martinez, his officer, is not available 24/7. Neither is someone who we have tried. Mr. Rocha has tried sending after hours emails and communicating with pretrial in general, the after hours number before. He is unable to get clearance and get the okay in time to actually provide emergency response. Mr. Rocha is currently working with the SAPD. Not working with, they are monitoring his firearm usage. I know that's a weird thing to, but they are working. He is communicating actively. Okay.
Ms. Ferguson? Can you have pretrial services officer, whoever's the pretrial service officer for Mr. Roach zoom in? Who is the officer?
Kayla Martinez.
All right, so we're gonna find out, we're gonna have the officer to zoom in, and then at that time, the court will make a decision.
Thanks, Judge.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Judge, I send you a chat.
All right, can I have a date, please, in the chat box?
See what I can do.
All right, Mr. DeWiggins, on your client, we're gonna come back on December 1st. Hopefully the evaluation and everything that's needed will be completed by that time.
Thank you, Your Honor. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you. Have a great Monday.
You as well. Thank you.
Your Honor, may I just check in from talking with Norma? I wanted to give you an update on my client.
Just one moment. All right, what is the update on Ms. Garcia?
Your Honor, it's Amethyst Garcia, and she applied for a PTD. Norma couldn't get through and asked me to get a 30-day reset to confirm everything between now and then, if that's possible.
All right, what is the date?
What is today?
Have you been given a date? 30
No, I have
day
not been
recess?
given a date. No, she just said she would
All right,
give me
we'll
a
come
date.
back on November 30th.
It'll be November 15th, Judge. And I already emailed pretrial diversion.
November 15th.
November 15th, I can do that. And Norma did give me that. I apologize. Okay, Judge, may we be excused?
I'm sorry, Your Honor,
Yes.
what day was that again?
It's November
November.
15th.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Amethyst, I'll give you a call. Thank y'all. May I
You're
be
welcome.
excused?
Bye-bye. Yes. Mr. Barrera, you're on. Mr. Zamora? Oh, you're muted.
Good morning.
Good morning. So there's a request for your client's GPS to be removed.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so I'm going to send you to breakout room number 2.
Thank you.
Everyone, this is a family violence case. I placed Mr. Zamora on 3 months GPS, and those 3 months have expired, and it's being
Correct.
requested that his GPS be removed.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. I'm going to rename you so the prosecutors will know.
Okay.
Okay, I'll send you to breakout room number 2.
I'll be there. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Dwight Chumley.
Yes, ma'am. We have a deal, but I am in 4 meetings this morning. I was gonna see if maybe we could set it up for later this week or next week.
I mean,
Or
if you
when-
want to, we can do the plea this afternoon.
Um,
We're here all day.
I know. I got today's a bad day. I got my wife is moving some things I've got to do this afternoon. She has the day off and I don't. So there, you know.
Mhm. All right, we can recall you for tomorrow.
Okay, perfect.
All
Thanks,
right,
Judge.
You're welcome. Norma, on Mr. Chumley's client, that's going to be a plea, and if we can recall it for tomorrow.
And Dwight, before you leave, can you get your client's email and send it to Norma or I?
Yeah, Marcus, I'll do it.
Okay, thank you.
Uh-huh.
All right, you and your client are excused.
Thanks a lot, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Cleophas Marshall.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes.
We have a deal on Mr. Michael Hernandez.
All right, you'll need to put that in the chat box to Ms. Ferguson.
Thank you so
Todd
much.
Lessert.
Yes, Your Honor. We've reached an agreement with the state on Mr. Gomez, and I just needed Norma to send me the appropriate paperwork, and we'll go forward if we can.
All right, thank you. Who are
you,
the
Your Honor.
parties on Jose Rodriguez de Leon?
Christian Noon for the state.
All right, the court is calling 2020 CR 8207, State of Texas versus Jose de Leon Rodriguez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Christian Noon for the state, and we're ready to proceed.
For the defense?
Rolando Wade for the defense, Judge, and we're ready to proceed.
And are you Jose de Leon?
Yes.
All right, for some reason, Mr. de Leon, I have listed on your file that a Spanish interpreter is needed. And actually, it's listed on the docketing sheet that you are a Spanish speaker. So before we go forward, you've already been sworn in. Are you able to understand the English language?
Yes.
All right, and do you wish to proceed without a Spanish interpreter?
If you wish to proceed without a Spanish interpreter.
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, proceed without a Spanish interpreter.
All right, are you able to read and write in English? Mr. de Leon, these are questions that I need you to answer. These are not questions that your attorney can provide for you. I'm trying to make sure that you understand the documents and that you do not need a Spanish interpreter. If you need an interpreter, that is fine. The court will get an interpreter to come in today to interpret. But I don't want us to go forward with this if you feel more comfortable with the Spanish interpreter or you wish to proceed with the Spanish interpreter. So question number one, do you want a Spanish interpreter, yes or no?
Yes.
Let's get a Spanish interpreter, Judge. That'll make it easier.
Sure. Ms. Ferguson, can I get a Spanish interpreter, please?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. De Leon, we're going to proceed in just a moment. A Spanish interpreter will be here shortly.
Can we take a seat, Judge, in the meanwhile?
I'm sorry, I needed a Spanish interpreter.
And are the parties ready on Jose Zamora?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, is there going to be an objection to the removal of the GPS?
No, Your Honor, it appears that the 90 days are up and there haven't been any violations. So if the court ordered 90 days and everything is fine, then we don't really have any objection.
Okay. All right, then Mr. Zamora will remove the GPS. Ms. Reyes, if you can send me the probation's request for removal, I'll sign it.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, if there is nothing else, Mr. Barrera, I just see a ceiling. You're on mute.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you for letting us go to the breakout room. And they were checking with probation, but nothing comes up. So far, it looks like the coast is clear and he has successfully completed his 90 days.
Okay, then once probation sends that to me, I'll sign it. And Mr. Barrera, if we're going to show ceiling shots, people probably should paint murals on the ceiling.
I agree. I'm all for that. And I have a brother who's an artist. So I'll go ahead and commission him.
I know. I met your mom.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. You and your client are excused.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. All right, is there a pretrial services officer here yet on Fabian Rocha? All right, everyone, just give us a moment. Linda Corley?
Judge, I'm sorry, may I have a moment?
Yes.
Okay.
And if anyone is ready, just let me know. All right, we have an interpreter here. All right, let me add. Just one moment. All right, could Mr. DeLeon come forward with his attorney? And to the courtroom, I'll need you to turn on the interpretation. And if everyone could please go on English, I think.
Yes, Judge. Good morning.
Good morning, Norma.
Okay, may I address Mr. Rodriguez de Leon, please?
Just one moment.
Okay.
All right, Norma, it is Jose De Leon Rodriguez.
Okay.
It is 2020 CR 8207. And his attorney is Rolando Arguelles.
Thank you, Judge.
And they are in the courtroom.
I can't hear the interpreter.
Oh, I haven't done the, all right, are you able to hear the interpreter now, Brenna?
Your Honor, I haven't activated because I just want to make
original.
sure that Mr. De Leon it's set up in Spanish.
I'm sorry, Ms. Nero?
Yes, I haven't activated the function on my end because I just want to make sure that
Yeah, I still can't hear.
that somebody is assisting Mr. De Leon.
Oh, yes, someone else. They're
Okay,
assisting him in the courtroom.
Oh, okay.
All right, are you able to hear now?
I heard that, yes.
All right, is everyone ready to proceed? All right, And Mr. DeLeon, are you able to hear?
We can't hear Judge. She might be in the Spanish, under the Spanish tab. in English.
She is on the Spanish channel.
Yeah. We still cannot hear. the
Yes, he
interpreter.
is.
There.
Good English now.
All right, we're gonna go old school, everyone. Here we go. Court is calling 2020 CR 8207.
We can't hear Judge. There we go.
One moment. No. You won't be able to hear when she is speaking in English. So everyone, we're just gonna do it old school. So we're going on English. And so everyone just remember that we have someone interpreting. So when you answer, pause to give a chance for the interpreter to interpret. So if everyone could just say test so we can make sure we can hear everyone. Christian.
Test.
Sí.
And Christian, I think you may still be on the interpretation section.
I think I took myself off.
Yes, because we can't hear you.
I can hear
Hear
him.
me now?
Yes.
Brenna, can you hear me as well?
I can hear you.
Okay, very good.
All right. The court is calling 2020 CR 8207, State of Texas versus Jose De Leon Rodriguez.
Jose G. De Leon, no Luis. I'm not a Luis.
Okay, here's the thing, Mr. De Leon. Mr. De Leon,
Uh-huh.
we're using an interpreter, which means you're only to speak in Spanish.
Okay.
If you're going to decide to speak in English, then we don't need the interpreter here. Do you understand?
Yes. Sí.
No, you don't have to interpret that part, Miss Nero. All right, Miss Nero, can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm you will faithfully translate from English into Spanish and Spanish into English, so help you God?
I can't
Can I
hear.
have parties announced for the
Irma.
record for the state?
Judge, I
Christian
cannot
Newman
hear
for
the
the state.
interpreter.
All right, thank you. Hey, but here's the thing, don't rush, take your time, because there are stairs and there are things that can happen when you're rushing. So take your time, that's fine. Brenda, today is Monday, but you know what? We're gonna put a smile on our face. All right, so we're back on Fabian Rocha. And who is the pretrial services officer? Who is the pretrial services officer? Who is Kayla Martinez?
Hi, ma'am. This is me. Sorry, I had it on mute.
Everyone, I know it's Monday. I know it feels as though we're all using Zoom for the first time. But can we just, for today, pretend like it's not Monday and pretend like we've been using Zoom for at least a year now? Okay. On Mr. Rocha, we're back on the record. We're back on the record in 2019 CR 1334. The defense is requesting that his bond conditions be modified to tracking only because of work. Ms. Martinez, the state has concerns about Mr. Rocha just wandering around. Is there any way where Mr. Rocha can notify you by email that he has to go to a crime scene to clean and send that to you by email. If he's called at 12 a.m. at night, can he send you an email and say, I've just gotten a call to go clean up this crime scene. And if you want documentation, he can provide that documentation to you the next day. Is that possible or is that not possible?
It's just difficult being that I don't work after 5. There's an on-call officer that wouldn't be able to put in that schedule for him in the middle of the night. So with
But here's
his
the
job,
question. If he were to email you at midnight, I know you're not working, but he emails you at midnight and says, I have to go to the job at 300 De La Rosa. The job is going to take me probably from 12 a.m. to 2 a.m. And when you get in the work the next morning, you see that email. And then you call Mr. Rocha and say, Mr. Rocha, I received an email from you saying you had to work from 12 a.m. to 2 a.m. or whatever it is. Can you provide documentation? And then he provides you documentation. Is that doable or is that not doable?
that's not doable
Okay, why is that not doable?
because I wouldn't be able to adjust his monitor times at that hour. So it would fall on the on-call officer who's watching 1,500 plus people and they don't get my emails. So for him to work that way, it'd be easier for him to be on tracking only.
All right, this is what the court's going to do. Mr. Rocha, you're going to be on tracking only. This is what's going to end up happening. When you get a call saying that you need to go work somewhere, you're going to immediately send an email to pretrial services. And you're going to send that email. If it's at midnight, you're going to send that email and you're going to send that email before you actually go to a job. Do you understand, Mr. Rocha?
Yes, Your Honor.
And then after you send that email to them, the very next morning, you're going to follow up with documentation that you were actually at work. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
So you're on tracking for work only. You're on partial GPS, but it's for work only. So what that means is you're on tracking for work. You're not on tracking for the grocery store. You're not on tracking for anything else. You're only on tracking for work. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
And if there is something else you want to do outside of work, you're going to have to get permission from that prior. Do you understand?
Yes, yes, Your Honor.
Is there any confusion over the court's orders from anyone?
Your Honor, I just wanted to, so if a suicide happens at 3 to 4, I'm not sure what kind of documentation he could get the next morning because the police are usually still on the scene. I'm just not sure. I don't want to set him up for failure there. I'm not sure what documentation he could get the next morning.
Well, when he gets a call, I mean, he gets a call from somewhere. He doesn't right. So telepathically understand that somebody killed themselves. So wherever communication that he's receiving in order to respond to a scene, perhaps he could forward that communication as documentation because he's not just feeling it in his bones. He's getting an email or a call.
Right. So it would just be a call from a random number or from a family member. Sorry, not a random number. From
Here's
a
the
family.
thing, time out. This is what the court is ordering. Tracking from employment only. He sends an email to pretrial services saying that he has a job and he's to provide documentation the next day. Anything outside of work, he needs to contact pretrial services to get prior permission for. That's what the court is ordering.
Okay.
Next question. When are we having this motion to revoke?
It's scheduled for the 27th at 9 a.m.
Are there going to be witnesses? And is this contested?
It's contested and there will be witnesses. Yes.
All right. So this won't be at 9 a.m. Ms. Ferguson?
Yes, ma'am.
On October, they're scheduled for a contested hearing on October 27th. I guess that was previously set. It's at 2 p.m., correct?
Let me double check on that, Judge.
All right. State and defense, I'm sorry, yes, Ms. Ferguson?
I don't have it down as a contested. I
It's
just have it down as-
contested. I'm going to send you all to breakout room number 1. Get a date for a contested hearing from Ms. Ferguson.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Newman? And Ms. Martinez, thank you so much for coming in. You are excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Ms. Bustamante, you can go to breakout room number 2. I'm sorry, number 1. All right, I believe the parties are here on De Leon.
I don't need to have anything selected for the interpretation channel, right?
No.
Okay, off. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, everyone can hear you.
Cool.
All right, we're back on the record in 2020 CR 8207, State of Texas versus Jose De Leon Rodriguez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Christian Noon for the state, and we're ready.
for the defense?
Rolando Ruiz for the defense, we're ready.
And are you Jose De Leon Rodriguez?
Yes.
All right, we have an interpreter in the courtroom. I'll swear her in again, although I believe she's already taken the oath. Ms. Nero, if you could raise your right hand for me, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm you will faithfully translate from Spanish into English and English into Spanish, so help you God?
I do, Your Honor.
All right, you can lower your hand. Could you state your name for the record, Ms. Nero?
Norma Nero.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objections from the state?
No objection.
Any objections from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. De Leon, all of the documents I am talking to you about are in English. Did your attorney have an opportunity to review all those documents with you?
Yes.
And did you understand them?
Yes.
Defense, are you able to speak Spanish?
Yes, Your Honor.
And do you speak Spanish fluently?
Yes, Your Honor.
Were you able to review all the documents with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
And do you believe that your client was able to understand all the documents, even though those documents are in English?
He was, Your Honor.
Mr. De Leon, did you review a document entitled Defendants Consent to Appear by Video?
Yes.
Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes.
For the record, the defendant is in the courtroom with his attorney. The court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Counsel, have you received all the discovery in this case and did you review it with your client?
I have, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. De Leon, did you review a document entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication or Community Supervision with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes.
The court will find, I'm sorry, someone just popped in. Mr. De Leon, did you review the document entitled True Bill of Indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
I do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Off the record. Mr. Watkins, I'm sending you to breakout room number 3.
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
You're welcome. All right, back on the record. Mr. De Leon Rodriguez, did you review a document entitled Court's Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it at all the appropriate places?
Yes.
Did you understand you're charged with online solicitation of a minor with intent to arouse or gratify?
Yes.
That is a third-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial? A right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
He was, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
He does, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
He is, Your Honor.
Mr. De Leon Rodriguez, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
No.
Just one moment. Counsel, did you advise your client of the consequences of pleading no contest or guilty in the application of federal immigration law?
Yes, Your Honor. Defense counsel has conferred with Mr. De Leon's immigration attorney, and this plea is going to be favorable for him with that.
Did that advice include possible consequences such as deportation, exclusion from admission to the United States, or the denial of naturalization?
Yes, Your Honor.
And do you believe your client understands the immigration consequences of entering a plea today in this cause?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you stated that your client has an immigration attorney, is that correct?
That is correct, Your Honor.
Do you know the name of the immigration attorney?
Kathy? Oh yeah, Kathy, Your Honor, my apologies. I don't know her last name.
Right.
But I'll
And,
spell it.
and has your client had a chance to confer with his immigration attorney?
Yes, Your Honor, he has.
And have you spoken also to his immigration attorney?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor, I have.
Mr. De Leon Rodriguez, did your attorney advise you of the consequences of pleading no contest or guilty in the application of federal immigration law?
Yes.
Did that advice include possible consequences such as deportation, exclusion from admission to the United States, or the denial of naturalization?
Yes.
And do you understand the immigration consequences in entering a plea in this case today?
Yes.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review a page entitled plea bargain with your attorney, and did you understand it?
Yes.
According to the plea bargain agreement, the state recommends deferred adjudication, and there's to be Chapter 62 registration. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement, Mr. De Leon Rodriguez?
Yes.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor, it is.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement?
It is, Your Honor.
Mr. De Leon Rodriguez, did you review and sign the paragraph entitled Waiver of Appeal? Did you go over it with your attorney, and did you understand it?
Yes.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
Your Honor, could you repeat that?
Have there been any such motions?
Oh, no, Your Honor.
Outside the agreement, the state is requesting that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 4 years. There be a TAP evaluation and 200 hours of community service restitution. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state, and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes.
Then to the offense as charged in the indictment, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
All right, any evidence to support the defendant's guilty plea?
State offers states one and all attachments that have been tendered to the court electronically.
No objections, Your Honor, for purposes of the plea.
Mr. De Leon Rodriguez, did you review a document entitled Waiver and Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically, well, did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial? A right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call, and the right to remain silent.
Yes.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there'll be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. All right, after reviewing State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, but defer finding of guilt as you applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
That the court grant him the deferred adjudication, Your Honor, and follow the plea bargain agreement that we have set out.
Mr. DeLeon Rodriguez, if you're drug tested today, what are the results going to be? And before you answer, know that you will be drug tested today.
Limpio.
Clean.
Have you used drugs in the past?
Mucho tiempo.
Long time ago.
And what drugs were that?
Marijuana.
Marijuana.
All right, what are you doing on this website looking for underage girls for?
Estaba teniendo problemas con una señora que tenía y yo pensé que era ella la porque es como un muchacho que mataron.
Okay, espérese. Because I was having issues with the lady that I was with, and I just thought it was her.
All right, that doesn't make any sense, Mr. DeLeon Rodriguez. Rebecca Reyes probation, is he going to be able to do community service hours or no?
I don't think so. I don't think right now they have any locations for the Chapter 62.
All right, so this is what we're going to do. You still need to do community service hours, Mr. DeLeon Rodriguez. The court is going to sentence you to 4 years deferred adjudication, 200 hours of community service restitution. The court will deduct 40 of those hours if you provide proof that you have taken the COVID vaccine. The court is not requiring it, but if you've done it, then 40 of those hours will be deducted. The remaining community service hours, if we're unable to provide a place for you to do community service hours, then you're going to have to pay $7.25 per hour to the San Antonio Food Bank. I'm going to want field visits.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, the interpreter needs a repetition.
Sorry, I'm going to want field visits 3 times per month, random. There is to be no internet use. For anything outside of work. I'm assuming, Mr. Arguelles, does your client work as a mechanic? What is his uniform?
That is correct, Judge. He does work as a
Right.
mechanic.
So I'm sure that sometimes as a mechanic, he may have to look up, I don't know, the cost of parts, but he is not to use the internet for anything outside of work.
Yes, Your Honor.
And there's going to be regular reporting. And Mr. DeLeon Rodriguez, you're going to have to report in person.
Yes.
There'll be regular UAs. Rebecca, is there anything, proof of employment within 15 days? There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or any employment involving minors. Rebecca, is there anything else that Mr. DeLeon Rodriguez needs?
The chapter 62 compliance, Judge.
I wrote it on the docket sheet, but I guess I didn't say it. Chapter 62 compliance. Mr. DeLeon Rodriguez, is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful?
No.
All right, did you review a document with your attorney entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendants' Rights to Appeal? And did you understand it?
Yes.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Rodriguez, good luck to you. I'm going to send you to breakout room to go over conditions with probation. And Ms. Nero, thank you for coming down. And if you could go into the breakout room with probation to make sure she's able to go over conditions with him, that would be greatly appreciated. So to the courtroom, if you could go to breakout room number 1, please.
Thank you, Judge. May we be excused afterwards?
Yes. And Mr. Newman, if you don't have anything else with us, then you are excused.
Thank you for your time, Your Honor. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Who was the prosecutor who was waiting on Darrell Harris?
Judge, that was me, Matthew Allen. Mr. Harris came into the breakout room. We're here on David Rocha. We're asking the court if they would reset or recall his sentencing to November the 1st per the terms of it, so he can complete the terms of his plea bargain agreement.
All right, this plea was entered on August 13th.
Yes, Judge. If we could, we can go into a breakout room with myself and Mr. Harris. We can go over it. It's a little bit of a different case.
And yes, Your Honor.
All right, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 2. Ms. Ferguson, if you could come to 2 with me, please. And everyone, just give me a moment, put some patience in your pockets. All right, Fabian Rocha, your case is going to be reset for a contested hearing on October 26th at 2 p.m. You need to appear in the courtroom and
Thank
bring
you.
your mask. All right, and if there's nothing else, you are excused.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a nice day.
Thank you, you too. Who are the parties on Jose Gomez?
Todd Lessert for Mr. Gomez, Your Honor.
And who is the prosecutor?
Marcus was dealing with me.
All right, the court is calling 2019. Sorry. Just 1 second. I don't want to throw you off, Brenna. All right, the court is calling 2017 CR 3566, State of Texas versus Jose Edward Gomez. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Marcus Sanders.
For the defense?
Todd Lessert for Mr. Gomez.
And are you Mr. Gomez? Could you unmute for me, please?
Yes, Your Honor.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objections from the state?
No objection.
Any objections from the defense?
None from the defense, Your Honor.
Mr. Gomez, I'm showing you what's entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video Conference. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video conference. Next, I'm going to show you what's entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor, I did.
Are you the same Jose Edward Gomez who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2017 CR 3566 for the offense of manslaughter on February 1st, 2018 for a period of 8 years? Is that you?
Yes, Your Honor, that is me.
State?
Condition number 2, on or about the 9th day of November 2020 in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant, Jose Edward Gomez, did then and there fail to submit to drug testing as directed by the supervision officer in violation of condition number 2.
How do you plead to that, true or not true?
I plead true to that, Your Honor.
Condition number 5, in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant, Jose Edward Gomez, did then and there fail to report to the supervision officer as directed for the months of February, June, and July 2021 in violation of condition number 5.
How do you plead to that, true or not true?
True, Your Honor.
We'll waive the rest, Judge.
Any objections to the state's waivers?
None, Your Honor.
Mr. Gomez, did you understand by pleading true to violations of conditions 2 and 5, the court could find it true, find you guilty, sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of conditions 2 and 5?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find 2 and 5 true. Is there an agreement?
There is, Judge, and it's in line with probation's recommendation. We're asking that you deny the motion, order a 60-day jail sanction, that he complete a TAP while in custody, and follow the recommendations of the TAP.
Is that the agreement?
It is, Your Honor. We had hoped that he might be able to be released in return for a TAP evaluation, but if that's the recommendation that he remain in custody for one, I don't think we have a problem with that.
Mr. Gomez, are you asking the court to follow that agreement?
I would like to see if I could possibly get out and return for
All
a
right,
TAP
so here's the thing, Mr. Gomez. The position you're in right now is you have worked out an agreement with the state. The court doesn't have to follow that agreement. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
So let's start with number 1. Are you asking the court to follow the agreement that's been reached?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and let me swear you in. Could you raise your right hand for me? Do you solemnly swear affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
All right, you can lower your hand. All right, I have a few questions for you. Do you want to go to prison?
Absolutely not, Your Honor.
Then why your actions are telling me that you want to go to prison?
Your Honor, I've recently dealt with several unfortunate losses in my family, including my younger brother, my aunt due to cancer, several family members due to COVID. My father had throat cancer, almost lost him, and most recently he got lung cancer. I've been dealing with that along with the financial hardships that came with me losing my employment due to COVID, and just having to deal with that and try to maintain and support myself as well as my daughter. And I was going also through a emotional hardship as well too, not being able to be with my family during the times of the loss due to my probation in Bexar County, also my inability to afford to travel due to trying to maintain my bills and take care of my my well-being.
But you've been using money for marijuana. And here's the thing, I understand that sometimes people will give you marijuana for free, but I know nobody's giving you cocaine for free. And you're on deferred adjudication. All you have to do is pick up the phone and call somebody. I guarantee you, everybody on this screen has had someone who's been murdered, myself included. Everyone here has someone who's died of cancer, a close family member, myself included. I've had over 4 close family members die of cancer. But guess what? If I'm on probation and I don't want to go to prison, if I'm having a hard time, I pick up the phone and call somebody. You've been on probation since 2018. And your behavior, you're acting as though you want to go to prison. You haven't been reporting. You didn't report February, June, July. You haven't been doing community service hours and counselor. I'm not taking that as true since the state waived it, but we all know he hasn't done community service hours. The only thing that he's done since he's been on probation is not report and do drugs. And so, Mr. Gomez, this is what you have to understand. When probation in the state is saying we are in agreement that he be continued on probation, when your attorney is saying, I'm in agreement that he be continued on probation, then you don't come and ask for everything. It's like if somebody's giving you a free meal and the free meal is steak and seafood, you don't then say, oh, and by the way, I want that pecan pie that you didn't offer me. I want some dessert that you didn't offer me. Oh, and by the way, I know you're not giving me a free room, but I want a free room too. So we're focusing on the basics. And the basics is, by your action, you're telling the court that you want to be revoked. So how often have you been using marijuana and cocaine?
Your Honor, I do not use cocaine regularly. I do believe the marijuana may have been contaminated or a cigarette that I smoked. One of my coworkers, he was fired for possession of cocaine. We worked together, shared tools. We exchanged cigarettes regularly. He loaned me cigarettes quite often while we'd be at work. I don't have a history of hard drug use. My TAP evaluation would show that. Marijuana is something that I was using medicinally.
When's the last time you used cocaine?
I've used cocaine in high school, like proactively as far as sniffing cocaine or using cocaine. I did it experimentally in high school, but I'm not a regular cocaine user, man. I can tell you that. Now, marijuana, I have used marijuana recreationally and medicinally as well. And Your Honor, if I may say, I was not going to ask for anything different than what was given.
No, you're asking that. Yes, you are. You're asking to be out of jail while your TAP evaluation is pending. You're getting greedy. Like you haven't done anything on probation other than not report, not do your community service hours, and use drugs. That's what you've done since you've been on probation.
I understand, Your Honor. I commit to a 4-month plan of completing all of my community service hours. And I have a family member that's willing to loan me the remainder of the money that I owe as far as my fines.
See, here's the thing. Don't go to any family members getting a loan because we already know how that ends. People borrow from their families and their friends and they never pay them back. Your family, your friends are not on probation, you are. And part of responsibilities and being rehabilitated and learning about life is taking care of your business. So the fines and fees, you owe that. No relative does. Don't ask for relative for money. You understand? You need to pay it.
Yes, ma'am. No, absolutely. This is something that was offered to me. I never asked for.
Well, you need to reject that offer. You need to say, never mind, because what ends up happening when you borrow money from friends, the person who's loaning that money to you need to realize that it's a gift, because maybe that person's going to pay you back, maybe not. But money between friends and family members, when you don't pay it back, causes problems. Now, where are you going to be working?
I've been working with Octane Group Inc. and Renaissance Management Inc. as an independent contractor in the trade shows.
Do you have any children?
I do, Your Honor. I have a 14-year-old daughter that'll be 15 on November 12th.
And are you in their lives?
I am regularly in her life.
Has Child Protective Services been involved?
Never once.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. The court will follow your agreement, deny the motion, 60 days in the Bexar County Jail, give you credit for any time served, a TAP evaluation, that's to be done while in custody. Follow recommendations of TAP evaluation, parenting classes. The court will deduct 40 hours of your community service hours if you provide proof that you've obtained the COVID vaccine. For the record, the court is not requiring anyone to get the COVID vaccine, but if you do, 40 hours will be deducted. Proof of employment within 15 days of release. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. And there's going to be random field visits. Three times per month upon release. And UA hotline upon release. And there's going to be regular Zoom reporting. If you can't report by Zoom, it will be in person. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is there anything else that you need from the court to be successful on this probation?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Rebecca, I don't know what part you came in on. I know you were in a breakout room, but this is Jose Edward Gomez. He pled true to violations of 2 and 5. The court found it true. Will deny the motion. 60 days in the Bexar County Jail, credit for any time served. TAP evaluation while in custody. Follow all recommendations of the TAP evaluation. Parenting classes. 40 hours of community service restitution will be deducted if he's obtained the COVID vaccine and provides proof. Proof of employment within 15 days of release. No employment as a home health care provider or with minors. Random field visits 3 times per month upon release. He's to call the UA hotline upon release. Regular Zoom reporting or in person.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Gomez, you need to do better. You're looking from here on out. You need to ask yourself, is this a decision that could result in me potentially going to prison for 20 years? You understand?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
You're welcome. Rebecca, we can go off the record. You're saying that you're in your children's life. Guess what? Right now, your children are wondering where you are. If you're going to be in your children's lives, then you need to do better so you can stay in their lives. You break a child's heart every time they think you're going to be somewhere and you don't show because they are too young to understand. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 1. Probation will go over conditions. Mr. Lessert, you can go to number 1, or either you can be excused.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'm wanted in the 290th, if I may be excused.
Yes.
Judge, can I see you before I go over there with him?
Yes, I'll see you in breakout room number 3.
Okay.
And everyone, just give me a moment, put some patience in your pocket. All right, who are the parties on Michael Anthony Hernandez?
I'm here, Your Honor.
All right, I need you to show your video. Who's the prosecutor?
It was Marcus.
Judge, before we begin, can you have Farias go to room 10 with his attorney?
Yes. Mr. Farias, I need you to go to breakout room number 10.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. And let me just make sure he went to number 10. Yes, he's there. All right, the court is calling 2019 CR 10626, State of Texas versus Michael Anthony Hernandez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Marcus Sanders.
For the defense?
Cleophas Marshall.
All right, and are you Mr. Hernandez?
Yes, ma'am.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objection from the state?
No objection.
Any objections from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Just one moment. Carlos Martinez. Off the record, I'm sorry, Brenda. Carlos Martinez, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 4. And Natasha Torres, I've sent you to number 4.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. All right, we're back on the record. Mr. Hernandez, I'm going to show you what's entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video Conference. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Next, I'm showing you what's entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same Michael Anthony Hernandez who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2019 CR 10626 for the offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1 less than 1 gram?
Yes, ma'am.
State.
Condition number 1, on or about the 17th day of August 2021 in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant Michael Anthony Hernandez committed the offense of harassment of a public servant in violation of condition number 1.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True. We'll waive the rest, Judge.
Any objections to the state's waivers?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Hernandez, did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 1, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility, and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 1?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find violation of condition number 1 true. Is there an agreement?
There is, Judge. We're asking that you grant the motion, adjudicate, and revoke, and sentence him to 1 year in the state jail facility. In exchange for his plea of true, we are TICing County Court 667-580 and Night Mag 627-120.
Is that the agreement, defense?
That is the agreement, Your Honor.
Mr. Hernandez, are you asking the court to follow that agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you waiving your right to appeal?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, the court will follow your agreement. The court will find you guilty, not grant you community supervision, sentence you to 1 year in the state jail facility, give you credit for any time served, take in consideration County Court Cause number 667-580 and Night Mag number 627-120. Mr. Marshall, does your client have any inpatient treatment time or no?
Your Honor, I do not know off the top of my head. I know he's been in and out on this case, but I do not know. I apologize.
Mr. Hernandez, have you done any inpatient drug treatment?
Yeah, I got like four and a half months.
Oh, serving, where did you do your inpatient treatment?
I done it at Applewhite in my office. It's now called DDRF. though.
Okay.
Yeah, Judge, it looks like he was in from December 8th, 2020 through April 21st, 2021.
All right, I'll give your client credit for any inpatient treatment, Mr. Marshall.
Okay.
And Mr. Marshall, I'm going to, after we close the hearing, I'm going to send you to a breakout room with the clerk so you can make sure that he receives credit for that.
I will do that. I think he has 470 something days notwithstanding that. Is that correct, Marcus?
That's what I saw in the system, yes.
So is it the intent for this to be a judgment satisfied?
That is correct.
Yes, Judge.
All right, I'll show it as a judgment satisfied. However, Mr. Hernandez, we've done this before. They're still going to probably transfer you to the state jail facility and process you. But after we close the hearing, Mr. Marshall, I'll make sure that you speak with the clerks to make sure that Mr. Hernandez is getting all of his appropriate credit.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Hernandez, you're welcome. Mr. Hernandez, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendants' Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. Mr. Hernandez, if you ever need any treatment for anything, there are so many free places throughout San Antonio and throughout Texas that you can go to. So you need to take advantage of that, okay? I'm going to send, Mr. Marshall, I'm going to send you and your client to breakout room number 3. And when you're finished speaking with your client, Mr. Marshall, and the clerks, can you have your client come back to the main room?
I would do that, Your Honor. And do you have I guess, I don't know if it's you or someone else who has a list of all these free places? Because I do have clients at times that need free things and I never can find it.
Let me just tell you, I know the free places,
Okay.
right? So if you have a client that needs drug treatment, needs mental health treatment, needs places to stay, needs food and shelter, I know the places. I'm trying to compile a list. I think it would be so great if there's a list.
I agree. I agree.
And so I'm working on that, and I'm gonna, have you, Mr. Marshall, help me make that list.
I knew that was coming. Thank you, Judge.
Sure. All right, I'm gonna send you to breakout room number 3. That's where I sent your client.
That's
and
correct.
we'll meet you in number 3.
Thank you.
Well, actually, you know what? I'm gonna move your client to 10 because that's where the clerk is right now. So I'll send you to 10.
Okay, to 10, and I'm just to confirm that he has a credit. Okay, thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. All right, anyone else ready? Kathy Compton, have you had a chance to confer or no?
I just need to go over paperwork with my client, Judge. So if I can get a breakout room to do that with her, then we should be ready shortly.
All right, Ms. Rodriguez, if you'll go to breakout room number 3 with Ms. Compton. Jonathan Watkins.
Yes, ma'am.
Judge, I am ready when the court's ready for us with Irene Gonzalez.
All right, thank you.
I'm still here. I needed Joe Ray Garcia whenever I get a chance. And I also want to confer with Tom after that, Mr. Nisbet.
All right, Mr. Watkins, let me see where you are. Okay, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 5.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. And then we're ready on Irene Gonzalez. And Norma, there's an inmate, Gonzalez in 16A. Their screen is blank. And Ms. Corley, your client is in custody, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, who is the prosecutor on Ms. Corley's client?
Marcus.
Okay. And let me see, there's Marcus. All right, the court is calling 2021 CR 7499, State of Texas versus Irene Gonzalez. Can I have parties announced for the record, please, for the state?
Marcus Sanders.
For the defense?
Linda Corley.
All right, we're proceeding with sentencing by video because of the pandemic. Any objections from the state?
No objection.
Any objections from the defense?
No objections.
Ms. Gonzalez, could you unmute yourself, please? Are you Irene Gonzalez?
No, there was nothing.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any objections with us proceeding by video?
No, Your Honor.
And the court will note for the record that the defendant entered a plea on September 10th, and that was done through a consent for her to appear by video. According to the plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at a cap of 5 years. The state is remaining silent on your applications, and this is the state would take in consideration 647072. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Judge.
Any objections from the state to the PSI report?
No, Judge.
Defense, any objections to the PSI report?
No objections, Judge.
All right, the state is silent. Defense, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. I think after reviewing the PSI, the TAP, I think it's pretty clear that my client, Ms. Gonzalez, has had a long-term drug addiction problem. It has been, she also has mental health issues. She's been self-medicating for a very long time, not gotten the help that she needed. She has been incarcerated many times before, Judge, and she has prior criminal history, as you see. The thing that's interesting about this is as many times as she's been in, she's never once been offered drug treatment, Judge. And so what that has done is left her with her mental illness and her drug addictions to deal with on her own. It's created a revolving door for her, Judge. And when I spoke with her, I've spoken with her many times now. She is in custody. And she desperately wants drug treatment, Judge. In fact, she brought to me, I didn't ask her, she said, I heard about this drug court and I think it would be really good. I would like to know if I can do that. I explained to her that it's a very difficult program, that it's very strict, there's a lot of things to do, but that it has been very successful in the past if you're ready to do it and you really truly want to make changes in your life. And she has told me over and over that she desperately does. She is tired of living the way she has lived. She's tired of being incarcerated on and off. And she is ready to take the help and take the steps, even though she knows it's going to be a difficult path. And also in preparation for that, Judge, her wife is also trying to get on the right path. Just to let you know, her wife is now in drug treatment, even though she's not in custody or under arrest. She also has a counselor that comes to her home once a week to help her work through her issues. And she is disabled as well. So both sides of this equation, Judge, are ready to take the steps necessary or doing what's required to make that happen. Judge, you know, it would be very easy to just throw her back in prison. She has made a lot of bad choices, but she is ready now. She has family, she has a daughter, and she has grandchildren. She is tired of being a bad example for them. She is tired of being away from them. And she wants to go the hard path, not the easy path, Judge. Go into TDC, do your time, and get out again. You're just right back where you started. She wants to take the path that's going to lead to her long-term success. She has not had the help with the coping skills that she needs, the help with the addictions that she has, and also the mental health side, Judge. So we would ask that this court give her a chance to get that done so she doesn't show back up in your courtroom. And in addition, Judge, Ms. Gonzalez did want to make a statement to the court if you allow that.
Yes. All right, Ms. Gonzalez, if you could raise your right hand for me, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you can lower your hand. Would you like to do this in question and answer, Ms. Corley?
Judge, she just has a statement that she'd like to make, if that's okay with the court.
State any objections to the statement.
No, Judge.
All right, Ms. Gonzalez, you can make your statement.
Your Honor, first I would like to just address this court by saying I am very ashamed of being here for this court today. I'm 43 years old and this is the worst. Bexar County is the worst experience I've ever had in life, and I do not ever want to come back here. I'll do anything to stay out of here. I am asking that you consider drug court in my case so that I can get the help that I need, the resources and the rehabilitation that I need. I believe that will give me a chance at a real life, and it will keep me from coming back into your courtroom and being a revolving door. I also realize that the choices that I make and that I have made in life come with consequences. I am tired of leaving the people that I love the most and that love me the most to pay for those consequences, like my daughter and my grandchildren and my parents who have raised my child and are taking my place as grandmother to my grandkids, and my wife who needs me. I'm tired of that life, Your Honor. I want a chance at a real life, and I understand this is going to be hard, but I think that's what I need in order to get where I really want to be and need to be in life. Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. So explain to me, how does a 12-year-old come to use alcohol and methamphetamine and cocaine and marijuana?
I was abused at an early age as a child, and it was an ongoing situation that I blamed my parents for. And instead of letting them get me the help that I needed and going to them, what I did was I started running away. And one of the times that I did run away, I ended up meeting my husband. At the time, I was 12 years old. Later on, we ended up getting married, and he was the one that introduced me to all the drugs that I've used in my life.
So you're saying you were married at 12?
No, at 13.
And how old was your husband?
My husband was 20 at the time that we met, and he was 21 when we married.
And your parents signed off to that?
I think they thought it was a better idea just to sign off to it than for me to keep just running away and being out there. It was just a better way of them keeping a hold on me.
All right. So this is what I'm going to give you a choice. Sometimes I can't give people choices. The state offered you a cap of 5 and they're silent. I can give you 3 years in the prison because, I mean, you know your criminal history is not a good one. I can give you 3 years of the prison. There's no, or either I can give you probation. I can order you into felony drug court. What I can tell you is they have a wait list. What I can tell you is you, I think, may have a parole hold. So they're not going to transfer you or put you in their program until then. And if they're not going to accept you in their program, then I'm going to refer you to safety. So you'll go from this custody, and safety is at the prison. It's just a program within the prison. And then you'll do safety, that's 9 months in custody. You're going to be waiting to go to custody. So what do you want to do?
I would like the drug court, Your Honor. I need the help, and whatever it takes to get that help, I'm ready to do.
All right, so this is what I'm going to do then. I'm going to sentence you to 5 years in prison, suspended and probated for 5 years. Let me make sure, Rebecca.
I'm here, Judge.
All right, thank you. Otherwise, I was going to tell Linda Corley, don't disappoint me, write down everything that I'm saying.
I am.
All right, take in consideration 647072. You're to remain in custody. And Rebecca will try felony drug court. If they have a wait list or can't accept her, then it's going to be safety.
Judge, they're not going to accept her right now because she has a pending case. Yeah.
And Judge, I do have, I'm going to be representing Ms. Gonzalez in her parole hearing as well. So I'll be giving them an update on all of the programs that she has at her fingertips if they allow her to stay on parole that the Bexar County has granted for her. So we're in hopes that they will allow that. We're hoping that parole hearing will happen quickly. She did get an interview by drug court, and they did tell her that she was qualified, but they needed to wait, I guess, for the parole to make sure she could go into the program.
All right, then, Ms. Corley, I'll depend on you to stay in contact with felony drug court. If her parole case is resolved or disposed of in timely manner so that she can go to felony drug court, then she'll go to felony drug court. But if not, then she'll go to safety.
Yes, Your Honor. So
parenting classes, proof of employment within 30 days of release from custody. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. And Ms. Gonzalez, because of your drug history, I'm going to start you off with no unsupervised contact with minors. So if you're planning on being with grandchildren or something of that nature, it's going to have to be an adult there who's clean and sober to supervise.
Yes,
So there's to be no unsupervised contact with minors. 200 hours of community service restitution. 40 of those will be waived if she obtains the COVID vaccine. I'm not forcing anyone to get the COVID vaccine, but if you do, 40 of your community service hours will be waived. Are you able to report by Zoom when you get out, Ms. Gonzalez?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, then there'll be a regular Zoom reporting. If you can't report by Zoom, then it's going to have to be in person. So no excuses for not reporting. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
We're going to do random field visits 3 times per month to the state. I don't see in the report where there's a cost associated with the drug testing. Did I miss that? I don't see restitution listed anywhere. Ah, there it is, $60. There's $60 restitution for drug testing. And we'll do the UA hotline upon release. Rebecca, is there anything else that she needs?
No, ma'am.
Ms. Gonzalez, is there anything else that you need from the court in order to be successful?
No, Your Honor.
Oh, and also Rebecca, I saw in here where there was a mental health evaluation done.
Yes, ma'am.
So can
And
we continue with that?
Yeah, she has, I think she has to remain in custody. They have a schedule to call me evaluation set for the week of December 2nd.
All right, so since that's till December 2nd, Ms. Corley, that'll probably give her time to take care of her parole issues.
Yes, Your Honor. If we get her back on parole, does she have to wait in custody to do that evaluation, or can she do it while she's out on probation?
She can do it while she's out on probation if she is in felony drug court. So
Okay, thank you, Your
Rebecca,
Honor.
if she is in felony drug court, then she can do her appointments while she's out of custody. But if she's not in felony drug court, then those appointments need to be in custody.
Okay.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. All right, Ms. Gonzalez, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendants' Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
And because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we can go off the record. Ms. Gonzalez, you know your criminal history is not the best. It's horrible. That's a kind way to put it. You're being given this chance because you come to court, you say you have mental health issues, you have drug issues. So we're trying to get you the help that you need. So when it starts getting hard, you need to remember that this is what you wanted. You have children, you have grandchildren. I'm sure you've heard my speech before. Children and grandchildren do not understand when adults say they're going to be someplace and they are not there. Each time you're not there, it destroys a piece of them, breaks a little piece of their heart, breaks their ability to trust. So you're going to have to do better. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I'm going to send you with your attorney to a breakout room. I'm going to send you all to breakout room number 2. And probation will meet you in number 2. Rebecca, I have a plea, but it is not for probation.
Okay, thank you.
Who are the parties on Farias?
That is me, Judge. Good morning.
Good morning. And who is the other person?
Good morning, Judge. It's me, Carlos Farias.
Yes, good morning. Who is the defense attorney on this case?
Melanie Lira.
Okay. All right, Ms. Lira, is this your client, Mr. Farias?
It is, Judge.
16B?
Yes.
All right. Court is calling 2021 CR 9287W, State of Texas versus Carlos Omar Farias. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state? For the defense?
Melanie Lira.
And are you Mr. Farias?
Yes, Your Honor.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objection from the state?
No, Judge.
Any objections from the defense?
No objections.
Mr. Farias, I'm showing you a document entitled Defendants Consent to Appear by Video. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes. Yes, Judge.
Mr. Farias, this is what we're going to do. There's a lot of noise coming from your end. If you could just mute and unmute yourself. When I ask you a question, you'll see a request for you to unmute yourself, okay?
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Counsel, I'm showing you what's entitled Discovery Acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case, and did you review it with your client?
I did and I have, Judge.
Right. Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. The court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Mr. Farias, I'm going to show you a document entitled Waiver of Indictment, Reading of Information and Rights under Article 1.051 and 26.03 of the Code of Criminal Procedure. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, I did.
All Did you understand you have a right to have a grand jury hear the evidence in this case and make a decision on whether or not to indict and hold you over for trial?
You're muted still.
Excuse me.
Did you understand? You're muted, Mr. Farias.
Yes, I did. Yes, I
All
did
right.
understand.
Thank you. And did you understand your attorney has certain rights, namely 2 days from the presentation of the information and 10 days from the presentation of the information to prepare for trial? Did you understand?
Yes, I understand, Judge.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, I understand. Yes, I
Did you
understand.
intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, Judge.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived indictment, reading of information, and rights under Article 1.051 and 26.03 of the Code of Criminal Procedure. Next, I'm showing you, Mr. Farias, a document entitled Information. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Judge.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the information?
I do, Judge.
State, are you proceeding on the information as presented?
Yes, Judge.
Mr. Farias, I'm going to show you what's entitled Court Admonishments. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Judge.
Did you understand you're charged with theft under $2,500 enhanced? That's a state jail felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Judge.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Judge.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, I do, Judge.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, Judge.
Did you understand if you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Judge.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
He has.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I do.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I do.
Mr. Farias, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, Judge.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, I am very satisfied.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, I do.
All right, everyone off the record for a moment. Ms. Ferguson,
Yes, ma'am.
did you see the chat on Torres with Carlos Martinez? She needs an interpreter.
Okay.
And Ms. Torres, if you and your client will go back to breakout room number 4, we'll make sure that an interpreter comes there.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, we're back on the record. Mr. Farias, according to the plea bargain agreement, the state is requesting that your punishment be assessed at 50 days in the Bexar County Jail under 12.44 of the Penal Code, taking consideration County Court Cause number 668274. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Judge.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
It is, Judge.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Judge.
Next, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled Waiver of Appeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it in both places?
Yes, I did. Yes, Judge.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Judge.
Counsel, are there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Then to the offense is charging the information. How do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest, Judge.
State, any evidence to support the defendant's plea?
State offers states one and attachments, Judge.
Any objections?
No objections.
Mr. Farias, I'm going to show you what's entitled Waiver and Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, I have.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Judge.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there'll be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, Judge.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Judge.
Defense, are we proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, sorry, I was trying to mute myself.
No problem. Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
No, Judge.
All right, Mr. Larry, I'm sorry, Mr. Larry, Mr. Farias. The court, as previously stated, is finding you guilty. The court will follow your agreement, sentence you to 50 days in the Bexar County Jail under 12.44 of the Penal Code, taking consideration County Court Cause number 668274. Give you credit for any time served. Anything else from either side with regards to sentencing?
Nothing from defense.
Mr. Farias, I'm showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, Judge.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, Judge.
And because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, Judge.
All right, we can go off the record. Mr. Farias, how old are you?
53.
All right, here's the thing, Mr. Farias. I don't know if anybody's ever given you a theft course or not, but I'm going to give you a short theft course. Don't take what doesn't belong to you. If you appear at a location and someone asks you to leave, leave. You understand?
Yes, Judge.
If you continue stealing, what's going to end up happening is you're going to find yourself at the state jail facility or maybe even in prison. If there's an issue of hunger, if there's an issue of shelter, there are free places in San Antonio that you can go that can help you with that. Don't be the person in prison when a young person comes in and they're like, how are things run here? And somebody says, well, you want to speak to the grandfather of the prison. And they say, well, who is that? Oh, that's Mr. Farias. Don't be that person, okay?
Yes, Judge. I have repented from stealing and I will not do that. I won't be that person.
All right, know better, do better. Good luck to you.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, number 16B can go back and you all are excused. Carmen, I'm going to send you to a breakout room. And
Of
it's
course,
breakout room number 4. Thanks for coming in.
It's my pleasure. Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Judge, I think the defendant wasn't there yet.
No, he's in there.
Okay, sorry.
No problem.
And
Jen, yes.
we need your, I think, is the interpreter needed for the clerk to swear him in? Is that what?
Yes.
Okay.
Jonathan Watkins, what is happening with your case?
So I was able to confer with the state on Mr. Moreno's matters. I have an offer. I need to get to a breakout room to explain that to my client and discuss that with him, Judge. And then on Mr. Garza's case with the trial division, I was also able to confer with Mr. Nisbet, and I'll need to get in a breakout room with my client after I speak to Mr. Moreno to relate to him what's going on.
All right, Mr. Moreno, if you can go to the breakout room number 6, please.
Thank you, Judge. And God bless you.
Oh, thank you. God bless you too. It's always nice to receive blessings. And where is Amandaris? All right, the inmate who's listed as Gonzalez 16A. Sir? Are you Arturo Gonzalez?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Gonzalez, we're probably going to have to reset your case. Just give me a moment to get a date for you, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right,
Yes,
thank you
ma'am.
for your patience.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, I'm going to need a due date on Arturo Gonzalez, please.
I'm sorry, Judge, repeat that.
I need a new court date for Arturo Gonzalez.
30 days?
Yes.
The 15th.
Just give me a moment, Mr. Gonzalez. All right, Mr. Gonzalez, we're going to bring you back on November 15th. All right, Norma, can you let them know that Mr. Gonzalez can go back? He's 16A.
Yes, ma'am.
Jonathan Watkins, you're back. Mr. Marino?
Yes. And if I can, so I think that we're really close to a resolution on all of his matters, but I do want the court to be aware that we do have a motion to set bond on 2 matters that has been filed. And I have conferred briefly with Mr. Garcia, and I just wanted to approach the judge on those matters. I don't know if we can get in a breakout room or.
You want the motions heard now?
I prior to a full-blown hearing, Judge, I would really appreciate if I could just approach the court with Mr. Garcia, just to see if there's any way we can just kind of informally get it worked out. And I want the court to be aware that we're close to, the plea negotiations have picked up on this matter, and I think we're close to hopefully having some type of package deal worked out.
All right, I'll send you to breakout room number 7, and Mr. Garcia, if you can meet us in 7, please. Mr. Marino, we're going to bring you back on Friday. All right, number 14. Oh, is.
Okay, thank you. God bless you.
Thank you. And Mr. Garza, I'm going to send you to a breakout room to speak with your attorney. He's in breakout room number 7. All right, to the courtroom.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, so Adriana Ayala, she's still in the courtroom?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, and Mr. Rocha, your case is coming back on November 1st. To the courtroom, is David Rocha in the courtroom still?
Negative, ma'am. Mejia informed me that he left along with his attorney.
Yes, he's not, he's reset for November 1st.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Norma, I'm sending you something in the chat.
Yes, ma'am.
And to everyone, Mr. Arturo Gonzalez, that's Criminal Trial Division. They will be back at 2 p.m. All right, and then Ms. Compton, as soon as I have the paperwork on your client, we can take that up.
Thank you, Judge. I think we signed everything that we needed to, so I'm not sure where it's at in the pipeline.
Has she been sworn in or no?
I don't believe that she has been.
All right, I'm going to send you all to number 4. The clerks will let you know if they have all the paperwork.
Thank you.
Judge, I'm sorry, I was doing something else. Who did you say is it to?
Mr. Arturo Gonzalez. It's criminal
Okay.
trial division.
All right, sorry. We're waiting. I think Carlos Martinez is somewhere in the pipeline.
Yes, he's still in the breakout room with the interpreter.
Okay, great.
Do you know if the judge is doing any magistrations this week?
Since
She's presiding.
Did she present?
Hello, Mr. Rodriguez.
Good morning.
Good morning. Have you received a copy of the PSI report?
I have not. Let me
Right.
put my email in the chat.
Before you put it in the chat, the probation officers in breakout room number 2. So I'm going to send you 2, and if you'll give her email address, then we'll get that to you.
Excellent. Thank you.
I can send it as well. Oh,
All right, Mr. Rodriguez.
Yes, I have the PSI now, and I was hoping to talk it over with my client before we start the hearing.
Yes. To the courtroom, can you go to breakout room number 1, please?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and your client will meet you in number 1, Mr. Rodriguez. So are we ready on Mr. Martinez?
I anticipate we are, Your Honor.
All right, everyone, just give me a moment.
Your Honor,
Yes.
I'm sorry, can I make sure Mr. Martinez has switched to the Spanish channel?
Just one moment. Let me set us up. Okay, it should be there now. Yes, I can hear you. All right, and could everyone else make sure that you are on mute of original language and on English, please? And everyone, just give me one moment. All right, the court is going to call 2021. Yes.
No oigo yo al intérprete. No oigo yo al intérprete.
Yes.
Todavía está hablando ya. Fuerte. No, esa ya no. Ya no.
All right, is the person helping him, Ms. Torres, speak English?
She does, Your Honor.
You need to go on the correct channel, Ms. Torres.
Judge, am I supposed to be on something special?
Okay, everyone does not need an interpreter. I need you to mute your original audio and I need you to go to the English channel. It's the little earth button at the bottom of your screen. It looks like an earth. So click on that.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, Ms. Torres, could you unmute?
Yes, Your Honor. Can you hear me now?
The person, yes, the person who's with Martinez, are they an English speaker?
They are, Your Honor.
All right. The person who's with Mr. Martinez, are you able to hear me?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me? Hello?
Could you speak up, please?
Can you hear me?
Judge,
Yes.
she's on the other channel, I think.
All right, so what you need to do is you need to go to the little ball that looks like an earth, and you need to click on that and check Spanish.
There is no ball.
It's a
on
little
here.
circle at the bottom of the screen.
There's an option that says more, and that should take you there.
Oh, okay, okay. I see the option, language interpretation, Spanish, done.
Sí, sí la escucho.
Okay. All right. Everyone remember today is Monday. All right. The court is calling 2021 CR 2125B, State of Texas versus Carlos Javier Martinez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Elena Altis for the state.
For the defense?
Natasha Torres on behalf of Mr. Martinez.
All right, we have an interpreter with us today. If the interpreter, if you could raise your right hand for me, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm you will faithfully translate from English into Spanish and from Spanish into English, so help you God? All right, you can lower your hand, and if you could state your name for the record, please.
Ay, yo no la oigo.
And are you Mr. Martinez?
Sí, sí soy.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objections from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Any objections from the defense?
None, Your Honor.
Mr. Martinez, all of the documents that I will be reviewing with you are in English. Did you review those documents with your attorney in Spanish?
Sí.
Ms. Torres, are you a fluent speaker of Spanish?
Yes, Your Honor.
And were you able to translate these documents that are in English into Spanish for your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
And do you believe your client understands all of the documents?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Martinez, did you review a document with your attorney entitled Defendant's Consent to Plead by Video Conference? Did you understand it, and did you electronically sign it?
Sí.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Mr. Martinez, did you review a document with your attorney entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication or Community Supervision?
Sí.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery in this case, and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Martinez, did you review a document entitled True Bill of Indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Sí.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Waive.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
No, Your Honor, we're proceeding only on count 1 as a lesser included, and count 2 is being waived.
Any objections?
None, Your Honor.
Mr. Martinez, did you review a document with your attorney entitled Court's Admonishment and Defendant's Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions? And did you understand it? And did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Sí.
Did you understand the state is proceeding on the lesser included offense in count 1 of theft $30,000 to $150,000? That's a third-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Sí.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Sí,
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in, the right to remain silent?
sí,
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
sí,
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
sí,
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine? Did you understand?
sí.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
Yes, Your Honor, we've reviewed discovery.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Martinez, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No,
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
no,
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
sí, absolutamente.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
No, soy residente.
Counsel, thank you. Counsel, did you advise the defendant of the consequences of pleading no contest or guilty in the application of federal immigration law?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did that advice include possible consequences such as deportation, exclusion from admission to the United States, or the denial of naturalization?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe your client understands the consequences of entering this plea bargain agreement as it relates to federal immigration law?
I do.
Mr. Martinez, has your attorney advised you of the consequences of pleading no contest or guilty in the application of federal immigration law in this case?
Sí,
Did that advice include possible consequences such as deportation, exclusion from admission to the United States, and the denial of naturalization?
sí,
And do you understand the consequences of entering a plea in this case as it relates to the federal immigration law?
sí, lo sé.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney and did you understand it?
Sí,
According to the plea bargain agreement, the state is proceeding on the lesser included offense of theft, $30,000 to $150,000. 5 years. They're asking that your punishment be assessed at 5 years in the prison. There's a $0 fine. The state is remaining silent on your application for deferred adjudication. The state is recommending community supervision. And the restitution amount, I don't see the name on here.
It's Home Depot, Your Honor. And the restitution is capped at $5,000 and it's joint and several with the co-defendant, Robert Garcia. We're working on changing that paperwork so you can see everything.
Okay, so you're saying the restitution is a cap of $5,000?
Yeah, it is capped at $5,000 for this defendant. And that amount is joint and several with his co-defendant, Robert Garcia.
But you're charging him with theft, $30,000, $150,000?
Yes, as a party. Mm-hmm.
Okay, just 1 second. Okay. All right, did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement, Mr. Martinez?
Sí, sí lo entendí.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, next, did you review the paragraph entitled Waiver of Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it in both places?
Sí,
Do you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
sí,
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
None, Your Honor.
Outside the plea bargain agreement, the state is asking that your community supervision be for a term of 5 years. There be no community service hours and that you maintain employment while on probation. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
sí,
Then to the lesser included offense in count 1, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
no me opongo.
State any evidence to support the defendant's plea.
Yes, Your Honor, we submit State's Exhibit Number 1 together with attachments that's been previously tendered to the court.
Without
Any
objection.
objections?
None, Your Honor.
Mr. Martinez, did you review a document entitled Waiver and Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Sí,
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
sí,
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
sí, lo entiendo.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same.
Voy a revisar.
Ay, falta si no quieres.
All right, after reviewing State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. However, the court will defer finding you guilty as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are we proceeding with sentencing?
There's no opposition from defense. I'm not sure what the state's position is.
Any objections to proceeding with sentencing?
No, Your Honor.
All right, so state you're opposed to the defendant's application for deferred adjudication. What is the defendant's criminal history?
Your Honor, I'm actually silent on his application, but I can tell you his criminal history if you'd like. It is, he's got a 96 arrest for ABI, 2 arrests in 2004 for DWI, a driving while license suspended arrest in 2008. And in 1987 in Brewster County, I believe he picked up an illegal entry, and I'm not sure about the deportation on that or not.
All right, any felonies?
I believe the illegal entry was a felony, Your Honor.
What was the disposition of that?
I'm looking right now. Released without prosecution. It says released without prosecution, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Martinez, are you employed?
No, ahorita no.
How are you supporting yourself?
Hago trabajos de plomería por mí mismo.
How you planning on paying this money if you don't have real employment?
Me voy a buscar un buen trabajo ya que me paguen por cheques en compañía y yo sabré cómo pagar todo el dinero.
All right, this is what the court will do. The court is going to sentence you to 5 years deferred adjudication. Your restitution to Home Depot that's capped at $5,000, jointly and severally liable with Robert Garcia. You're to provide proof of employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home healthcare provider or with minors. Regular Zoom reporting or in person. So if something happens and you can't report by Zoom, you'll need to report in person. And there is to be random field visits. One time per month. 100 hours of community service restitution. The court will deduct 40 of those hours if you provide proof that you've obtained the COVID vaccination. Court's not forcing anyone to do that, but if you obtain it, 40 hours will be deducted. Rebecca, is there anything else that Mr. Garcia needs? I'm sorry, Mr. Martinez needs?
Were you gonna do random drug tests or?
Yes, we'll do regular UAs.
And Your Honor, can I comment on the job? This is a co-defendant to two defendants you took a plea on a few weeks ago. He's actually living in the same house. And so the state had contemplated maintain a job while on probation outside of working with these individuals, because when they were together, that's how we ended up with this criminal case being filed. So,
well, I mean, he's going to have to get a job that gives him a paycheck.
Right. I just don't want him doing odd jobs with the defendants, because this was how they ended up coming up with this scheme to steal $100,000 from Home Depot.
Oh, no, he's going to have a job that has a paycheck. And Mr. Martinez, if you're unsuccessful or if you obtain things by nefarious means, you're looking at potentially going to prison for 10 years. And you need to get a job that gives you a paycheck. I'm going to show you what's in. Thank you. I'm going to show you a document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendants' Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Sí.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Sí.
All right, I'm going to send you to a breakout room with your attorney and with probation and with the interpreter so that probation can go over conditions with you. I'm going to send you all to breakout room number 1.
Thank you, Your Honor. May we be excused after?
Okay.
Yes. Yes, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
All right, everyone. Brenna needs to take a break. It's 12:30. So everyone, I know it's Monday and crazy things tend to happen on Monday. But as I always say, if you put some patience in your pocket and smile through it, as I'm smiling through my allergy headache right now. So if everyone can come back at 2, make sure all your paperwork is done. If all your paperwork is done, we will take you up first. Ms. Compton, if you're in at exactly at 2, I already have the paperwork for your client, and we'll take that up immediately.
I'm not even leaving. I'll just be
Just
here
one
waiting.
second. Let me put us back on the main channel. All right. Yes, Ms. Compton.
Oh, no problem, Judge. I will be here before 2. Thank you.
All right. Well, no, not before 2, because we'll be back at 2.
Oh, I'll be here waiting on everybody else, just to make sure that I don't make anybody wait on me.
All right. You're number 1. Mr.
Thank
Martinez, I need you to go to breakout room number 1, please.
Number 1.
Yes, if you should see breakout room.
Oh, okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, and so everyone else will bring you back at 1. Ms. Rodriguez, we're gonna have you brought back at 1. Norma, she's L29. Mr. Rodriguez, if you can come back at 2, please.
I have a couple CPS settings at 2 and 2:30.
Oh, if you can come in after that, that's fine.
Okay, okay, that'll work. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. And to the client for Mr. Attorney Manuel Rodriguez, if you can be back in court at 2, please. Enjoy your lunch. Mr. Garza, if you can zoom back in at 2, please. We will see you then. And we're going to stop live.